A very welcome to our cell meeting. This is going to be our third teaching on the role of the Holy Spirit. The Spirit as the dynamic source of Christian renewal. And as we have been saying, in the farewell discourse in chapter 14 to 17 in John's Gospel, we come across 5 sayings on the Paraclete. The first saying, Jesus promises a second advocate, a second helper, a second Paraclete. In the second saying, Jesus identifies the 2 complementary tasks of the advocate, of the helper, of the Paraclete. And the complementary tasks are the teaching, but also remembering. One complements the other. Now, the third saying, which we find in chapter 15, precisely verses 26 to 27, and I'm going to read it. Jesus states the witnessing task of the advocate, of the helper, of the Paraclete. And I'm going to read this text clearly. When the advocate, helper, Paraclete comes, whom I will send to you from the Father, the Spirit of truth, who proceeds from the Father, he will bear witness about me, and you also will bear witness, because you have been with me from the beginning. Now, these words, my dear cell members, were not applicable only to those who were in the upper room, but these words are applicable to every Christian disciple. What is the DNA of a disciple? A disciple is not just a sheer believer. A disciple is primarily a witness. That's the DNA of discipleship. Let us unpack this saying. And I'm going to quote again from the encyclical letter of John Paul II, published in May 1986, which is called "The Lord, the Giver of Life, Dominum et Vivificantem." And there is a quote which I think explains beautifully this saying in John's Gospel. The apostles were eyewitnesses, obviously, historical eyewitnesses. This human, first-hand and historical witness to Christ is linked to the witness of the Holy Spirit. In the witness of the Spirit of truth, the human testimony of the apostles will find its strongest support. And these words applies to you and to me and to all the generations since the beginning of the church. I would say since Pentecost. And subsequently, it will also find therein the hidden foundation of its continuation among the generations of Christ's disciples and believers who succeed one another down through the ages. So when we come to witness, what we are doing is we are expressing in human form Christ's revelation. Christ revealed his Father, and the disciples are revealing in human form what Christ has revealed to us. There is a link between Father, Son, and the church, the disciples. No wonder why the word marturia, martyrdom, means to testify, to witness. And this witness, of course, we find it in the written word in the scriptures, because there is there the faithful transmission of Christ's revelation to us, what we call it the written word. And this word, of course, it's the embodiment of the preaching and writing of the apostles. And of course, this witness is continually being embodied throughout the history of the church. Hence the word tradition with a capital T. Now, this is the question I would like you to think about. If a disciple of Christ is expected to be a witness, how can I be a witness if I'm not imbued the Holy Spirit? There is no such a disciple of Christ without the Spirit. Just to continue with the saying, and I want to link it again, this third saying, the Holy Spirit's task is to bear witness about Jesus. This role inseparably linked with the disciples who are capable of doing this, because I'm talking about the early disciples, because they accompanied Jesus from the outset of his ministry to its close, is to make evident Jesus' revealed truth in his word and deed, death and resurrection. So we need the Spirit to be faithful to Jesus' revelation in word, deed, and, of course, his death and resurrection. We need him, we need the Spirit, because we need enlightenment. We need to be enlightened. And the more we have got the Spirit, the more we are receptive when the word is proclaimed to us. And no wonder then we respond by receiving the word and putting it into practice. You, as a cell, and this is the cell is the embodiment of the church and of the parish. And the three are linked together. And what links them is the word mission. I cannot be on a mission. I cannot be what my mission to be witness unless I have the Holy Spirit. So there is no such a thing as church without the Holy Spirit, as parish without the Holy Spirit, and a cell without the Holy Spirit. We as a cell, we as a parish, we as a church, we gather, we grow, and we go. So we are gathered in the Spirit. We are growing and empowered by the Spirit, and we are sent, prompted by the dynamism of the Holy Spirit. This is the witnessing task of the church. We stop being witnesses because the dynamic source has become dormant, i.e., the Holy Spirit. And we then stop being joyous, and we come and become sourpusses. And there is no such a Christian who is a sourpuss, or someone who is morbid and doleful and sad. Because if you have got the Spirit, there is the gift of what? Of joy. So I hope you discuss this in your cell meeting, that I cannot be a witness, and a witness word and behavior. Word and deed, not just behavior or deed, but word and deed. We have got to live, but also to proclaim it. God bless.